Hey guys, this is Holistic Health Harry, and I know if you watch my stuff regularly, you'll recognize this young man over across the pond here. Actually, not across the pond, on the same side of the pond we are now, north-south. No divide now.
Vertical alignment right now,
We're,
brother.
we're in the same time zone, for fuck's sake, Matt.
Yeah, very
Hey
different.
brother, how are things? And how are things? Let's do a little catch up. What's going on?
Things are exciting, man. I had a void in my life of things to do besides be on the internet, and life filled it. And now I'm like overwhelmed in a good way, as opposed to bored out of my mind. My life has gotten interesting, so I'm happy.
That's awesome.
How are
Yeah,
you?
you're doing work on news networks. That's what we're gonna focus today on one thing which people that are following my your stuff know that me and you love. And yeah, you're doing a lot of good things. You're young like me, determined. And yeah,
Yep.
well, I guess we could say we can start talking about the and make an announcement too for the people, huh? Because my next book, number 11, and your first book, I assume, we're going to work together. I've never co-authored a book, and I'm honored to help get assistance from you so we can share co-authorship for the Zencleanz, which is interesting.
Yeah, thanks for getting me going on. Yeah, it's the Zencleanz. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. So it's a no-brainer. This is our third interview on Zencleanz, Harry and I. And yeah, man, I think we've been thinking about this together for over a year now.
Yep.
And I'm excited to go into my first book with co-authoring with
I
Harry.
apologize for the procrastination, but I do believe in divine timing. And I'd also say for the audience, they don't know mine and Matt's story, that I actually had affiliated with the Zencleanz, but not used it for a while. And then one guy who I was friends with called David Townsend, I think, told you about it because he tried it, I assume, got great results. And you actually got it before me.
Yeah, even though you told me about it. I love it. Yeah, man, I was just like, that, want that. I'd gone from really changing my diet from like super heavy to like super light. And I was just craving get all this stuff out of me. What can I say?
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, that's gonna work. Oh, did I freeze up, Harry?
Yeah, you have. I can hear you audibly though. Audio is good.
Shoot.
It's okay.
Hey,
I mean,
frozen?
we can work with an audio for now. Oh, it's me, maybe. Okay. Okay, 1 second.
Oops.
Right, can you hear me? Recording on? Right. So you were saying, yeah, I got you involved sort of in a funny way, and then you managed to try it before me. Oh.
Cutting out again, so I'm just gonna turn off my video. See if that helps.
Okay, let's try that. Perhaps even I could. Would that make a difference?
The internet's not too great.
No, it's my internet. Yeah. Wait, let me try and take the video off. Stop video. Okay, is that better?
Yeah, let's try this.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so yeah, we just got cut off, but we're back. Yeah, we're talking about how we got into Zencleanz probably late 2019, and there was just I've been doing enemas, coffee enemas, and urine enemas for about a year and a half, and I just saw the pictures on the website for Zencleanz, and I just freaked out. I was like, well, this is clearly the answer that I've been looking for, basically, to accomplish what I would be doing on a long extended fast or something like that,
How come you believed in it straight away then? Were you looking up the testimonials and stuff?
I just, I'm a see it to believe it type person. And I know there's a lot of BS pictures out there, but I knew what I was looking at when I saw it on the Zencleanz website. And just a cursory internet search and like Professor Spira's work of mucusless diet really proved the existence of this mucoid plaque stuff to me.
Right. Yeah.
And, enzymes, it's a big deal. People talk about enzymes in the urine therapy community. It's in living food. It's in raw food. It's a good quarter to half a reason why raw food is such a miracle. Probably at 1/2 enzymes, 1/2 living hydration, right? In terms of the glories of raw food.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe a little overstated, but still, enzymes are important. And it just it looks like the proper quality, and like the type of quality that you need here, like down to really minute considerations. Like Zencleanz, what they do is they, in their packaging, and we figured this out just by ripping open a box. In the packaging itself, they have a metal mesh that covers the inside of the box, because whenever anything's shipped around the world, it's irradiated. Any raw food that gets shipped from one country to another,
Right.
all the enzymes get killed by irradiation processes that are just common in customs.
How weird. I heard that from the alkalis recently too. So all the fruits and vegetables are getting irradiated and neutralized or destroyed, right?
Yeah, it specifically targets the enzymes, because
Oh, just the
the
enzymes.
re-
Got you. Yeah.
so the fruit doesn't break down, so it can stay on the shelf like for weeks longer because there's no enzymes breaking down the food. Ha!
Dude, I didn't even know that. That's almost too simple to be true, but it is true, and I believe you. I didn't know that.
No, it's exactly true. It's that simple and it's
So
that
just to
evil.
repeat again, what is it in the so in the inside of the Zencleanz? I'm learning, like, is this the inside of the Zencleanz box has got some material that stops that irradiation when it gets transported, obviously delivered from Thailand to us from Taiwan.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it looks like, because my coworker and I, we really like took apart, like in minute detail, like
Mm,
what the packaging on one of their boxes that we order for ourselves.
right.
And inside the cardboard, really thick cardboard that makes up the walls, or whatever makes up the walls there, there's a metal mesh.
Right. Interesting.
Isn't that cool? It's like, fairly tight knit, not too much, but it's looks like a Faraday cage, I mean, like
Right.
either that or a highly reinforced box, but it's straight up metal. So it's like kind of looks like a Faraday cage to me. So that's the evidence we got going on there.
That's fascinating. Thanks for sharing that information, dude. I didn't even know. That resonates though.
I mean, literally, how would the product work so well if it's an enzyme product that they put all this care into, and then
Yeah.
it just gets zapped in customs like 4 times, and that specifically targets the enzymes? That would be like the dumbest thing ever. They would have like a huge discrepancy between their enzyme product effectiveness in Taiwan, where they make it, and everywhere else in the world, and doesn't seem to be the case. They get amazing effects everywhere, and we
Yeah.
opened it up. We found this mesh. So I literally haven't brought it up with Daniel yet, because
No, I
I
was just
just
thinking out, maybe, I mean, it's up to us, I guess, but it might be a secret of some kind that we've let out here, but that's cool because it's just helping people and just making people aware this is really powerful and they care so much like about the company and the quality that they do these things.
yeah, that's sort of how I got started talking about this. Is like, they're singing. They put sutras on over a loudspeaker in the aging rooms where the enzymes sit for a couple of years, and
Right.
they so it's in a temple being bathed in the vibrations of sutras, Buddhist sutras, for a couple of years.
Mhm.
So they care about the energy on all levels. It's
Yeah.
it really makes a superior product. Yeah.
Here's a question, Matt. Like, so I don't know, you probably had people on your Facebook or YouTube or tell you, like, why don't we just do our own Zen cleanse? And I hear
Yeah.
this, and I wouldn't say it triggers me, but I feel like it dishonors the genius of other people. And not only does it save you time, but I really don't think it's that easy, like people reckon, to replicate these kind of things. What do you think? What's your position on people when they come to you and tell you, well, let's just replicate, we can replicate the same power thing with this and that and senna leaves, and maybe we can ferment it ourselves and do all this.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how much plaque is in them. It takes between 3 and 4 intestinal cleanses to get all the plaque out of 30 feet of intestines.
Right.
And, that's a pretty chunk of change for each one of those cleanses. A lot of people are giving feedback before they even got half of their like amazing feedback. They're like, oh my gosh, I can't have, believe how much came out of me. Plaque, like, something beyond normal stool. It's totally this rubbery plaque.
Mhm.
People are reporting back that their life has changed, and they haven't really completed the entire cleaning of their intestinal tract yet. So, I think what you get on an extended fast or some kind of herbal fast with a lot of enemas, I think what you get is a really clean colon,
Mm.
right? Which is a couple feet, out of 30 feet of the
Mhm.
whole intestines. You see the problem there? It's like people think, oh, I cleaned out my rectum with enemas. It's like,
Right.
no,
Yeah.
you got a lot of tube in there, and you've been eating stuff that absolutely does not digest. I mean, look, man, like, Zencleanz, it's so powerful. It speaks to the fact that we're really supposed to eat raw and sparsely, because
Mm.
everything just turns into this cement that cannot be good for us. I mean, it seems like almost everything we eat nowadays leaves the residue in there. I
Yeah.
mean, it really is like the logic of the mucus-free diet, man. I mean, everything else is just creating a home for parasites. It's blocking the ability of the intestinal walls to absorb nutrients. So
Mm.
you end up kind of like starving to death while you're totally plaqued up and overweight because you haven't been able to actually absorb a meal in 30 years. And
Mm.
it's people don't realize how drastically like the lifestyle can be different if we get rid of this mucoid plaque.
Yeah.
So this is actually like, I think, my best answer for, well, we can do this other ways. It's like, trust me, you just haven't seen the results that especially 2 intestinal Zen cleanses 4 weeks apart from each other. You haven't even seen those results in somebody who's really put a lot of time and dedication in. It's
Right.
it's just a superior way to do it. It's also safer. Look, if you fast your gourd off, you burden the liver, and especially if you're not doing urine therapy, or if you're jumping right into it,
Yeah.
much less it's really uncomfortable. Like, Zencleanz is super gentle,
It is, isn't it?
super gentle,
Yeah.
literally made of food. So you're actually feeding yourself at the same time. You're not depriving yourself.
And
And
it's tasty too. I mean, not that we mind, but it is tasty.
it's a lovely experience. It's like, so I'm not paying for a lovely experience. I'm paying for something that I can't get anywhere else, as far as I see it.
I know when you think about the detox world of all the things we need to suffer, and I mean, me and you do aged urine and all these suffering cold therapies and all these sweat lodges. These are all good. We've got plant medicine ceremonies, all trauma releasing. But if you think about the power of this, it's quite tame in a good way. It's quite, what's the word for it? Easy to do, but you get a good results from it, right? Like, it's one of the easiest things you can do.
I mean, I think we deserve a break. Our body definitely deserves a break. I'll tell you that, right? Like, everybody's body is overstressed. Everybody's body is, needs to just plain relax, right? So it's really hard to square this detox lifestyle with this chill the heck out lifestyle. It's really hard to find a middle ground between the two. And literally, like, the Zencleanz is that middle ground, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's true. One way I look at it now is that, so raw foods do have the enzymes. So obviously raw foods are good because they've got the enzymes, but they've only got, I think you told me about this, if you correct me wrong. So the raw foods have the enzymes to break down that food. But what about the backlog of food? There's not enough enzymes in the raw food that everyone's eating now for 10 years to backlog the stuff that's already stuck in the colon. Only the enzymes currently from the food you eat raw only takes care of what's in there now. It doesn't plug deep enough. So you do need these multitude of enzymes, as you say, attack systemically the entire colon and the bloodstream networks of the small intestine too, to get at the plaque, right?
Yep, you said it. The situation is much more bleak than we can possibly imagine. I think that was the previous point I made. So it's like, yes, what you just said is true. Everything that is not living is leaving some kind of mucousy residue in there of undigested blockage, a home for parasites, a home for dampness and decay, and it turns more or less into cement. It's just it's astounding how out of touch we are with what our bodies actually need to thrive.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And the way I felt I've done 2 now. I've done 2 Zencleanz onces and 1 liver. And after each one of them, I felt like sort of like a mini rebirth. It's almost like what they say about the organs once they're completely clean, whether it be the colon or the liver. When that gets cleansed to that degree, you really feel, I don't know, because I do believe in the reflexology points in all the colon. When they're clean, you change. So what I'm saying is, like, it cleanses that organ on a very deep level so that you can access what traditional Chinese medicine would call the true emotions of joy and happiness from the release.
Oh man, I love that. I mean, I know that's true because I've done a couple intestinals and one liver. And every time I do the intestinal cleanse, there's this raw, uh, you know, lovely reconnection with my lower dantian. My gut feeling literally is coming back online.
Mm.
And so that's wonderful. And I mean, I'm a human design generator. It's like Christmas.
Oh,
It's like,
cool.
oh my God, I finally don't have to think anymore because
Yeah.
my gut brain is doing the thinking. It's kind of like that. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Um, it's been a mind relief. And then the liver, way better than the coffee enemas. But even when I was doing the coffee enemas, I could tell I was a lot less angry because I was helping out my liver.
Right.
Um, yeah, you fix the liver and a lot of anger just leaves.
I
Really
think there's a
changes.
truth to that, with the alcohol and people beating
Yeah.
guys getting more on alcohol destroys the liver. The anger's true with that.
Yep.
And then people drink so much alcohol that, I mean, because I've heard argument. I mean, I'm with you. I think you have this belief too that any alcohol is just disastrous, like even like zips at a time. But
I
like,
mean, I'm especially learning about how important GABA is, and alcohol is a GABA agonist. That's its main mechanism of
yeah,
like addictive and enjoyable action.
mm,
They're screwing us over with the ivermectin, our food supply ivermectin. They're recommending it to people. It's a Gates Pharmaceutical. It's being prescribed to everybody who's not taking the vaccines now, pretty much, and it's a
oh,
GABA poisoning
didn't know that.
neurotoxin.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like addictive, like alcohol. Ivermectin is, and same as benzodiazepines. So those also poison the GABA.
Hmm,
I mean, that's an inhibitory neurotransmitter, Harry.
hmm,
So an imbalance in the inhibitory neurotransmitter
hmm,
equals an excitatory response. Like you said, anger.
hmm.
Yeah. Now we were talking about the liver.
Yeah.
Um, that also seems to be true, but the GABA thing is like fundamental to every organ. Um, so I've just been learning a lot about that recently because I've been studying niacin.
Right.
Niacin,
Yeah.
GABA receptor are like the same receptor. So that's been interesting. But yeah, alcohol definitely screws up the liver, right?
Yes, and then because everyone's drinking alcohol, that means everyone technically needs multiple Zencleanz livers or one to get a mind-blowing result. Of course, as well as the Zencleanz one, because those two.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that people who are pretty, sick, they should do two intestinals before they do a liver because you really want to do it in order, especially if you're really clogged up because you're dumping your liver into your intestines, right? Your
Right.
intestines are all clogged up. It's just gonna back up. So you got to clear out the first things first.
Exactly. So what's your favorite, because me and you've been around now with the Zencleanz and we have people that have bought through us. So is there any stories that you've seen out and around on the Zencleanz, either with your groups or around that kind of shocked even you, or just things that you remember that really give people an indication of what we're dealing with the Zencleanz?
Thanks for keeping me on track with the conversation. That's a really good question. One thing that I have observed from my affiliate portal is, my people who have bought under me have consistently repurchased.
Really?
Uh,
Wow, that's
yeah,
cool.
like more than I thought would.
Yes.
And um, you know, I don't hear much from these people. I think they're just kind of in awe. There's people who post about this, but like for the amount of purchases that I'm seeing, I'm not seeing a lot of like Facebook posting and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's just such a like intimate process. People like in the process like have to quit Facebook for a couple months while they like reset
Yeah.
from doing Zencleanz. Just my like my pet observation. But look, there are testimonies that's just amazing, and that's mostly to be found in the Telegram support group for Zencleanz, which everybody gets access to when they purchase a product.
We'll put it under
Uh,
the link to this. Me and you should put it under our link to in the description box, the Telegram group.
no, 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 that's only for people who have bought
Oh,
the
sorry.
product.
I said
Reminds me
something
with-
wrong. See how informal me and Matt are here. Sorry, I didn't know that. Thanks, Matt.
Well, you didn't give him the link, so it's fine.
That's cool.
We want to keep that chat for questions about the protocol, because there's just plenty of that.
Right.
As opposed to sort of a marketing channel where it's like we're there to introduce people. It's like these are questions that are nitty gritty, and also results. Like people post pictures of what they pass, and then the CEO comes on and talks about it. And I'm learning. Everybody's learning what types of plaque colors mean, and
Right.
the different qualities of stones, and what liver flukes look like, which are liver parasites. And I tell you, people don't talk enough about liver flukes. They think all these parasites are long, white, stringy things.
Yeah.
No, these liver flukes, they're tiny. They're kind of like the size and shape of the last knuckle on your pinky.
Really?
And
yeah.
yeah, and but maybe kind of elongated like a pinky too, pinky finger.
Yeah.
Yeah, liver flukes. Look them up, and they shed their skin every once in a while too. So I know what liver fluke skin is now as well. And so you can learn a lot about the internal issues going on by what you pass. So pass your Zencleanz bowel movements into a colander, and then wash that off under high hot water in the shower or tub, and then rinse and scrub the heck out of your tub if you want.
Right.
And then take a picture of the stuff that didn't dissolve away, which is plaques or stones. And a good reason to wash it off is that the stones will be covered in kind of a fat layer. But you want to be able to actually get a look at the stones, which are these amazing dark colors. Like stones range from brown to black. They're shiny black stones. Brown chips, and but they're hard. It's just amazing, these hard stones. It's like, I've never passed anything like that, and I passed this really big green gallstone. Did that come out of me?
Whoa.
It's like, dude, the gallstones are so real, and they're neon green, dude. It's so strange.
That's interesting. So just to recap on that, obviously we're geeks here, and I'm sure some people watching this are geeks too. So you get a colander when you've done the mucoid plaque one. So you're pooing into the colander, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you're washing it in high powered water, like a shower.
Yeah. Then you transfer that hell, which is the tough part, over to the tub.
Right. Yeah.
And let it drip too much on stuff, I guess. And then you get the shower running on it, and you want high hot heat on top of it. And everything that's not like a stone or cement plaque, rubber will
go through,
get dissolved off and go into your drain.
Yeah.
And then you take a picture of that, what's left in a colander, and you upload that to the Telegram support group, and the CEO will come and tell you what's wrong with you for free.
Well, that's cool. I mean, you're already going to know that there's interesting stuff in there, but I guess it could be more specific.
Yeah. You'll be fascinated to find out what's particularly wrong with you. I mean, well, a lot of like particular, diagnoses are like, people are on a very wide range of dampness to dryness. It's called internal dampness in traditional Chinese medicine. And
when
you pass a lot of really like wet and jelly stuff and not thick plaque, you just kind of internally damp, which happens when you eat a lot of cold and meals or too much.
Interesting. So what you're saying is that's linked in with Chinese medicine, Chinese theories on food, sort of that, the dampness, the coldness.
Yeah, but you can definitely see what it is when they talk about dampness. So that's sort of why I bring that one up. Like, it's pretty obvious who's got bad internal dampness and who doesn't.
Right. Yeah, that's really interesting. Man, I find it so fascinating, dude. I mean, I'm going to do these much more. And actually, quickly as well, they've got, so those are the foundational. Everyone should do the Zencleanz 1 and liver. But I want to know your experience with the daily enzymes. I want to get them for me, and I encourage other people to try them out too. And also, what do you think on the new stuff that's coming out, which I presume is just going to be equally as powerful and mind-shocking when people get around to trying them?
Man, I can't wait to try the lung one. I mean, I've got breathing problems since ever I could remember. I don't know, couple different reasons for it, but I don't really know what caused it in my life, and yeah, I'm ready for that. Plus, you fix your breathing, and then your breathing helps fix everything else, so that's really exciting.
Hi.
Uh, and then kidneys. I believe it's kidneys next. Either that or it's blood and lymph. Either way, both of those kits will be forthcoming, but the next one is the lungs. Yeah.
I can't wait. And for me, I guess I'm most excited about the kidneys because I know that, I mean, we're all imbalanced left to right brain. But I mean, it's what I said to you a little bit privately. Like I'm extremely off balance that, and I'm very sensitive. So I can feel when my kidneys come back online and I get this balance back into my body, I'll be more centered basically. And I really want to, I'm pretty sure the kidney's going to shock me as much as the liver. Because when I did the liver, my eyes went to perfect vision in it for like 20 seconds. And
Yeah,
like
yeah.
nothing had ever done that before, and I did it wrong. I don't encourage people to do what I did, to do liver instead of Zencleanz 1 first. But of course, there was no accidents. So all I'm saying is that the kidneys one is going to shock me. And people can say, oh, well, you're placeboing it, Harry. All right, well, if you believe that, that's cool. I'm placeboing Zencleanz, but it's not that. It's the powder shit, man.
Well, I mean, look, people are if they're telling you that, I think they're probably gonna feel free to give me that kind of crap too, because look, we're putting ourselves out there. We're experimenting with stuff. We're putting what little reputation or a lot of reputation that we have on the line here to back something, right? And if it goes down, part of us goes down with it at this point, since we've been talking about it so complimentary for a year. So it's like, at a certain point, trust us a little bit, just enough to try it once. And yeah, it's expensive, but it'll change your life, so save up for it.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
if you don't want to try it,
Don't.
great.
I'm in the same
Don't.
position as you, Matt, though, because I've also had people, mostly from my YouTube, so they bought it and they just keep rebuying it, and obviously I know from being around the block around with supplement affiliations that if something doesn't work or does negligible results, people don't rebuy. So obviously all these people are getting results from it. And by the way, if you're watching this and you're on my YouTube, please comment and say something. I'd like to know because me and Matt want to know what's going on with our people. But yeah, I mean, basically, I'm saying that the rebuy from this is incredible because it does what it says on the tin, but more. Like that, it's just incredible
Yeah.
stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Great way to put it. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad I brought that up with what I'm seeing in my back office, because that's what you're seeing too. This stuff is not something you would want to spend money on if it didn't work, because it's in the like low 200 price range per kit. Now the everyday enzymes are cheaper, but those kits are highly concentrated.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
but don't freak out about the new Taiwan dollars that says it'll look like it's charging you 1,000 when it's really only charging
I
you
know people
200.
out of state. It's about $300. Is that correct? Your US currency for a kit?
No, it's 240 with shipping, man.
Oh, right. There we go. Sorry, I got that wrong. 240.
Oh, that's cool. It's like basically super worth it if it's gonna like completely change my fasting game, my relationship with food game. I'm eating less. I'm way more in tune with what the food is actually doing to me, what's constipating, what's healing. It's changing my whole life, and I've only done 2 intestinals and a rainbow, which is
Wow.
three
All right.
intestines
Yeah.
and a Zencleanz liver. And that's all I've done. I mean, the rainbow experience was cool. You take a little bit of enzymes every day,
Yeah.
and yeah, I think my experience with that 7 day in a row, like you're asking about the daily enzymes,
Yeah.
um, it was emotional.
Was
That's the
it?
hardest work with Zencleanz. The
The
hardest
hardest
work.
Zencleanz was the 7 day with the dailies in between.
Yeah, I mean, it's the most concentrated period of taking it that I've
Right.
done. I mean, like I was craving more enzymes.
Yeah.
Like I was so ready for the next dose every time, because you get like, a rush and clarity and calm every time you take these amazing things.
Yeah.
And then you go into like deeper processing work that feels a little more grungy and, revealing and deeper. I mean, literally as the enzymes eat away at what's been blocking you up. And, it's like an emotional process way more than it is oh my God, I'm like getting hives, or I can't stay awake, or I can't fall asleep, or I can't eat, or all these other crazy detox symptoms that people get. It's not really like that with Zencleanz at all. It's just Oh my God, I have to feel these feelings.
I know. Oh
That's
yeah, I had to feel my emotions for the first time, right?
it's like, wow, it's really, really revealing. And it's not made with an entheogen, you know what I mean? It's just food that is super activated, and it's doing all this digesting that you haven't been able to do. It's doing digesting that you need to get caught up on. It's
Exactly.
very
Yeah.
visceral.
Yeah. And let's keep this 1-to-1. And because only 2 minutes left running, is there anything you'd lastly leave the audience? Just to remind people as well, we're writing a book on the Zencleanz, me and Matt. We don't know when that's going to come out, but yeah, anything you'd like to say? Your group, your page, or YouTube?
Yeah, I don't know if you want to make the conversation go longer, we can pick it back up. I feel like I want to pick your brain a little bit more
Okay,
on
sure.
this.
Let's end this
Yeah,
one,
I
bro.
don't talk
There we
about
go.
this all too often, so I think
Yep.
there's a couple, a couple bit more things to go into.
100%. We'll keep it on audio if it doesn't work. Problem. Yep, we'll do that.
Yeah, so if you could just splice it together when we
Sure, bro.
go over it.
Right. So where did we leave it off? I can't remember the last bit we was talking about. Do you remember?
It's probably tying too many subjects together again. Let's see. So
Oh yeah, I
narrow
remember.
down.
The excitement for the lungs, the kidneys, and the new ones that come in. Oh,
Yeah.
and the daily enzymes. Sorry, I remember now. You was making points about the rainbow cleanse being very profound, and the continuation and the daily enzymes in between, because you can also buy from Zencleanz at daily enzymes, maintenance and just dailies as opposed to the actual packages, because they offer
Yeah, I
quite.
got it. It's a good story about that. You know, Daniel said that he cured his mother's blood clots in her legs because she went and she got the freaking vaccine, man. The CEO of Zencleanz, his mother, his like 80-year-old mother, went and got the vaccines, got some blood clots in the legs, huh? And you know, he gave her one of the, you know, a couple of these bottles that you're referencing. So you can buy like individual bottles of enzymes that are like wine bottles, and there are a bunch of different kinds. And one of them is called mycelia because it's made out of 3-year fermented mushrooms.
Whoa.
And this one, it cured the mom's blood clots, man.
That's amazing. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Brother Sage was on. Brother Sage told me when I interviewed him a few months ago about it. He was on the S. Is it the Daily Enzymes S? The S one? He loves it.
Yes, the Detox S liquid. It's a liquid that's included in the one cleanse.
Oh, right. So the same liquid in the one cleanse is in a daily format. Didn't know that.
Yeah, you know, I think that one's one of the more commonly sold bottles, especially because they include it in their one cleanse. It's also in the rainbow cleanse, but a one cleanse is part of the rainbow cleanse. It's the first day, and you will draw Detox S enzymes from the Detox S bottle for that first day, but also for days 2 through 5, 2 through 6.
Very
And
interesting. I had an idea, Matt. I had an idea to share the screen because I've actually got a good meme. Is that cool for you? Like we can have.
oh yeah,
Let's see. Let's see if
just
it works. If the audio doesn't, let us. If this starts playing up, we're going to find out now. So let me see. I'll share the
just
screen.
because of the internet.
So here we go. Like, there's a meme I want to show you. Maybe you can talk us through this because I've saved them. They're on the daily enzymes that I got from the Telegram group. Here they are. The difference between the daily enzymes.
The red one, that's like the kidney one. That's float.
Here we go. This one. That's one of them. Can you see that? Oh. So this is the different daily enzymes. I still need to experiment with all of these, but they all do different things, it would seem, even though they've all got loads of enzymes in them.
Yeah, so I haven't tried any of these, to be frank, just on the kits and the rainbow. But you know, Daniel, the CEO, is on a rotating schedule of all of these. He has a love for his whole catalog. I'll tell you that.
Right. I think these are the ones that are a bit. This one, the Detox S mycelia you talked about. There's the most common ones. These two, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, I think the mycelia is probably the most underrated, and Detox S is the one that's probably the most used because it's in the kits. You know, the Detox S is really going to be working on the intestines for the most part. So,
right, cool. All right, so that's good, man. So yeah, you've done daily enzymes, you've done the rainbow. I mean, I'm going to be on them lifelong, dude. I've done 2 and 1, and I'm determined to get rid of I'm determined for me to get my eyesight back online. And I've got a funny feeling if I did livers consistently back to back, sort of like a Maddie, but maybe a little less extreme, I'm going to get my eyes back for good. I've got a feeling. I've got an intuitive thought about it.
You know what kind of schedule it's like to keep up with Maddie. Yeah, Maddie could have died without that routine, man. And now she's on top of the fucking world, dude. So her story is insane.
Yeah.
You know, the amounts of medication she was on, and yeah, so it makes sense that she did 64 liver cleanses in the matter of I believe half a year to a year. It's something like that.
Oh, here's a question then on that one.
Yeah.
So a challenge, I guess, playing devil's advocate. So if Zencleanz is so powerful, how come you need to do so many that she did?
Yeah, well, you know, that gets to her story about how damaged her liver was and how bad her neurological condition was. But my answer to that question is I want clients who are going to be first interested in the quality of their water in terms of priority and healing, to be frank. You know, people who are interested in drinking their pee, people who are interested in drinking distilled water. That to me is like, if you want to not waste your time, waste your money, you get on distilled water and pee. You halt the salt, man. You stop the rock minerals that just, you know, upset your chemical balances and stimulate you and dry you out and mummify you. You know, and it goes against the work that the distilled water does, which is get rid of all these encrusted minerals in your system, I feel. And at least in part, that's what it does. You know, it's kind of like the most gentle solvent out there, you know, distilled water and I think urine for that matter. So, you know, the solvent, well, what's it dissolving? It's dissolving plaque. It's dissolving plaque and it's dissolving calcification. This is what I imagine. So, you know, this fear of plaque, well, that's well demonstrated in my love for Zencleanz, but there's also this fear of calcification. So this is kind of why I also stress distilled water first. And then second step is for me, and this has been a big revelation recently. I'm actually going to put the niacin protocol there. I'm going to say that without enough niacin, and this is a conspiracy to get everybody in humanity niacin deficient, because it's that important of a vitamin.
Right.
We're never going to be able to stop being deficient in all of the vitamins and minerals that we need to be sufficient in unless we have adequate niacin.
Right.
As this is the claim, there's good evidence to back this up. Basically, you're fixing NAD to NADH synthesis, which is core for cellular respiration, oxidative phosphorylation. The basic mechanism of aging is thought to be the imbalance in this process. NAD plus supplements are being sold as anti-aging, but literally all these other like nicotinic acid derivatives like NAD or a nicotinamide or niacinamide or no flush. All these are literally poisons that are there to distract us from actual flush niacin, which is an amazing miracle anti-aging. Fix all your mineral and vitamin deficiency problem things, strengthen the nervous system and actually feed the cells. So there's going to be an acceptance problem for the cells in our body, and an inability to accept nutrition on an optimal level, to accept good water and get rid of poisons and detox, basically have enough energy, have enough ATP to function without niacin. So it's like, it's just an Achilles heel type thing. So after you fix that, after you get on the niacin, the distilled water, then the third step is Zencleanz. And that's my order of priority. So, I want to remind you, I went into this long explanation here after you said something about it being worth the price, right?
Right.
How many do you need to do to get healed? And I'm like, look, I'm thinking about this holistically, and results for cost but also a mechanism in the body, like, what comes first in the healing process,
Right.
and what won't work unless you've got something else figured out first. And I really have nailed it down to you get the water right, you get the niacin right. You can even fuck around with your diet still, big time, big time.
Yeah.
Use Zencleanz and really get on top of your health. I mean, I then talk about food like after those 3 steps, man. Like
Yeah.
it's that big of a deal to me. So
No.
thanks for listening to this whole spiel, because it's something I really thought about.
No, I like your uniqueness of the protocol. I'm definitely going to try out niacin, and then I can more understand what you're talking about with that. But regarding the food, I also find it interesting actually, because look, I mean, we're all going to get, it's not like you do a Zen cleanse and you become holy master and just eat mucusless for the rest of your life, for most people, for being honest. But what I found, I don't know if you resonate with this, is basically because it removes a lifetime of junk with one cleanse, and the more you do, the more lifetimes of junk. You go back to your most often maybe a slightly better, but most commonly the same diet, which caused the problems in the first place. But because you've removed so much junk from each one, it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but you're still moving forward massively by doing Zencleanz, even if you want to justify it and say, well, I'm still eating shitty foods. And yeah, you are, but you're still going to get lasting changes because it's that profoundly removed all the junk from decades ago. And it takes a while from the foods you're currently eating to accumulate all that junk that you just removed in one day with the Zencleanz, right?
No, thanks for putting it that succinctly. Yes, it is 2 steps forward, 1 step back for most people, in large part because it's such a big emotional experience to get rid of this stuff that's been coating the inside of your intestines. That you're gonna not want to feel all that all the time, so you're gonna go back to less favorable eating, and it's because it's powerful. You're gonna have this 2 step forward, 1 step back thing, and as long as we just accept our feelings and accept ourselves, I don't think it's a terrible waste of money to be inefficient in your process like this. Just get started on the Zencleanz, and you will learn so much.
Yeah.
And then we'll integrate that in your time at your speed going forward. And even though there's going to be a part of you that's saying, oh my God, I remember what came out of me, and here I am putting it back in, you'll go through that consciously this time. You know how big of a change that is? Huge, huge.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's not just what you see, if you were to check it out, like the Calandon experiments, it's how you feel too. Because I remember feeling so different, and it didn't last days, it was weeks.
And that was the
like,
right? Your intestines were still all clogged up. Yeah. Totally, man. It's that's kind of the biggest topic on the Zencleanz support group is this wonderful little psychological technique that CEO uses. He basically demands that at a certain point, after people ramble on enough, that the person, the suffering person, stop describing what happened to them.
Yeah.
Stop describing their circumstance, please, for 1 second. And I mean, I'm putting in this in my words a little bit.
Yeah.
But describe how you feel. Where do you feel it in your body? How bad is it? If you want to do it on a scale of 1 to 10, but just get conscious of how your body actually feels, which is not a story, is it? The body is not a story. It's a reality.
So the body's not a victim mode. I'm a victim.
That's right. It's in no story mode. It's just the feeling mode, right? And that's how you heal it. That's how the CEO is telling you, of Zencleanz is telling you how to deal with your post Zencleanz feelings. So he's telling you just be in your body. Oh no, I don't think he says that. But he says, ask yourself how you feel. How would you describe it? Being able to put.
You're reminding me, like, the feeling in your colon and liver after you've done them is like, it's like the feeling, when you come out of a shower, like, and then your skin feels really clean, like that little buzzy feeling. So do your organs after you've done the Zencleanz. It's like, if you could imagine how it feels getting out of a shower, like that freshness, That's the same that your organs feel when you tune in on them after you've done the Zencleanz.
Like a fluoride-free shower for your liver.
Yeah, something like that.
It's amazing, man. It's not this harsh chemical detox. It's made of alive digesting food. It's as close to your own body as possible in food form, to be frank.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah,
Well,
that's
I mean, I like this whole self versus non-self thinking in terms of holistic health. Like, it's one of the reasons why I'm so impressed with urine therapy from a theoretical perspective, is because it's literally freaking you, because the body has to convert not you, air, water, food into you in order to, structure you, make you run, like the breathing and the eating and everything and the drinking of the water. It has to be turned into self. So structured water is more like the structured water in the cell, right? So when you drink structured water, it's more like self. And so therefore it's better for you, our body's making enzymes all the time. It sacrifices a lot of energy to make enzymes. Niacin supplementation supports a huge cascade of enzyme production.
right. Yeah.
Anything important is going to involve enzymes at some level. So it just turns out to be a really big self ingredient in the holistic thing. What's really close to basically the human blueprint already is going to be a gold mine.
I just had a thought, an odd thought, Matt, of like maybe getting a bottle of the Detox S or one of them and putting them in my aged urine, which already has the enzymes. But if I wonder if it contain and get preserved in there, if I mixed a little bit, just little drops here and there. I could do that as an experiment, see what happens. I think I'm going to do that.
Yeah. I think there is no reason why either of those things would go bad. I think there probably is a expiration date, but it's literally not talked about because at Zencleanz, because they don't know when it is. They've actually never been in possession of a bottle of their own enzymes for long enough for it to expire.
Really?
Yeah, really. It takes 3 years just to make the stink and stuff. So, it can last much longer than that, apparently.
Yeah, and to re-emphasize that point to people as well, it's not just one fruit. They just 150, over 150.
Oh my God, yeah, forget the basics. It's like 150 freaking different things.
Yeah.
Maybe like 75 in each product or something. I forget, something like that.
Well, yeah, that's insane. It's the abundance of, because obviously different fruits and vegetables to have different kind of enzymes to break down. There's the common ones, amylase, the starch, fat, lipase.
Science. The monasteries that have been doing this in Southeast Asia, at least, that's the science that they perfected over thousands of years, is what mix of enzymes creates the miracle cures for each specific organ. Like how do these kits work on specific organs? Well, it all has to do with what group of fruits and veggies are they using. That's how they target.
That resonates. So when they say it focuses on the kidneys and it focuses on the liver and soon to be the lungs and the lymph, it's because they're messing about behind the scenes with the variations of the high quality organic fruits fermented for years in combinations, and they either know it from science or they're probably doing experiments and finding these odd results, right? So what we're saying, are you saying that they got like testers? That makes sense to me. They're doing tests all the time.
Over like thousands of years, monasteries who took a lot of time in their monastery, pace of life, which is extremely slow. These Taoist monks figured out, probably with law of signatures and, just really advanced natural knowledge.
Right. Yeah.
They figured out. It's just we've actually preserved a miracle from the past when the humanity was at a higher state of evolution. I actually, maybe I should use the word evolution in a different way, but I generally think that history is a descent. That
great.
Things get worse until there's a sudden rebirth, which has psychological parallels, and it's not all that depressing, actually. And final analysis.
I agree with you. It's easy to understand that we descended a lot, and like we got Wi-Fi's now, we got toxic air everywhere, we got trauma passed down, cycle breakers don't exist like they used.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I'm talking about, man. Like obvious. Anyway, what we're talking about. Oh yeah. So it's like I think it's a thousands-year old tradition, like they say it is, and yeah, they've verified why it works with science. I'm sure. I mean, they've got names the enzymes now. That are consistent across the whole world. Is like bromelain is bromelain and protease is protease
Yeah.
category and all that right now. So I'm sure they weren't talking about it like that back in the day, but we can definitely see the different types of enzymes to break down different types of foods, right? And
Right.
so once
Exactly.
they're able to identify that in a plant, then they can ferment it and expect a certain result on a certain category of food, at least. But I mean, it's pretty cool and talented to get the bottle of enzymes to clean the liver as opposed to just go systemic throughout the body and target everything. How do you get it to focus on one organ? I don't know, but they do.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I don't know. That's confusing to me too. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm well aware that the kidneys is going to give me a result, the liver, the lungs for you, the blood. But yeah, it's incredible and you said law of signatures. I definitely subscribe to that. But maybe it's more mad genius than just that. It's more like they've accidentally figured out combos that aren't even in the science yet. I mean, I envision in the behind scenes, they've got testers for all of these. Like they're putting 10, 20 people behind the scenes on these programs to see the results. And then all of a sudden they're getting kidney stones coming out. They're like, yes, this is the kidney one.
I mean, if they slowly did, to me, that seems like how you have to do the science to double check it all. But heck, if that's how they figured it out, I mean, it could have taken 1,000 years and still they would have had the knowledge together for another 2,000 after that. I mean, I think the tradition's been around like for a confirmed 3,000 years in that region. I think.
Exactly. Okay, Matt. So lastly, is there anything that we haven't covered today that you'd like to talk about regarding Zencleanz, your YouTube, and all these things?
Yeah. Trying to get the YouTube back started again because just got taken down by YouTube because I was talking about turpentine, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really big on the niacin right now, so yeah, thanks for bringing that up. That's something that's been on my mind.
Yep.
Let's see, even though we wanted to keep this on Zencleanz. I don't know, man. There's a couple projects on the horizon for me, but just not enough to talk about right now, except the book, which is going to be about Zencleanz. And so, I think we're going to get some more experience under our belts, and we're going to get more testimonials together. And we really want people to talk to us about their experience, so we can make this as well-rounded a book as possible. So
100%. So yes, people feel free to comment if you see this YouTube on whatever channel platforms we're interested in testimonials. And me and Matt, I mean, I was going to rush it and just get it out because that's my nature. But I told you, Matt, as well, I want to delay it and let's be a bit more, because it's such a deep topic and I don't know enough about it. And I know that me and you can really want to do the best we can. We're going to take at least a year to do this, get it done proper.
Yeah, I need more money to buy more of these products so I can go deeper and basically so I can say my spiel with stronger and stronger gusto and strength and confidence, because I know exactly how this is going to go.
Yeah, I mean, yes, me too. And also, me and you have not tried. I want to try the lungs a few times, the kidneys a few times before this book's out. So I want us to get like the full experience so that we know in our hearts. Me and you already know this is really
know in your heart, right? Exactly. But that's just being proper. That's just doing the right thing, Harry. Because like knowledge wise, like logicking this out, taking a look at what we got here, nothing's gonna come along and be better or similar to Zencleanz. Like I dare the universe. Like I literally do. I dare the universe to try to make Zencleanz obsolete. And people are hurting out there, and they're not all Olympic fasters who fucking only eat raw food. Like, there's going to be a place for supporting the digestion process in 2023 and beyond.
Exactly. And lastly, I'd add for our audience here that because there's a new system, so if anyone is bought through Matt, feel free to start your own code. If you have friends and family that'd be interested, and you can grow a little side income, and Matt would receive benefits from that. So we encourage our teams from new systems, and we can all help each other basically make a little bit of side money. Because yes, it's important. It's not all about money, but at the same time, making income with something congruent is something that not just me and you, but anyone that has influence over two people that trust them can, it's a good business for anybody just to get involved with.
I have spent a good amount of time contacting my customers, you could say, and I love making it clear to them that, in exchange for me being able to get the affiliate commission, I am their like go-to person to ask questions, and I do that for free. So, you've got two major sources of answering your questions basically any time of day. You've got the chat for the Zencleanz Telegram. That's for a support chat for people who bought the product. And then you got whoever you buy through, because honestly, you should feel free to hit them up and ask for their help. I think that's only fair. So
yes, absolutely.
Good practice for us to answer these questions. So
yeah, exactly.
Hopefully it works out in the wash, and the Zencleanz company just updated their affiliate program to make everything a little bit more fair and lucrative at the same time. So
exactly.
God bless.
Yeah, so basically, if anyone buys through us, and I hope they'll honor that if they've heard it through us, and they've got friends and family, they can set up their own referral code for free, and then they can make commissions promoting it to their friends and family. If they're interested, they give their code, and then me and Matt make a small income from that. So it's a win-win for everybody with the new system coming in the first.
I think what you're describing, if I'm not getting too sleepy here, is that the person in the second part of your downline, let's say I recommend somebody, if they recommend something, I still get a little bit of kickback. So.
Correct. You get the 5% from your 5% and then the 1%. That's correct, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think it's good to be transparent about this stuff. I think that's why we're talking about it, as opposed to I'm trying to act all dainty or something and not talking about it.
Exactly. All right, Matt, thank you very much for joining us today. I really appreciate your time, man. And I look forward to speaking to you much more. So that's cool.
Thanks for the lovely interview, brother, and the opportunity to author my first book.
I can't wait, dude. I can't wait. It's going to be so cool. All right.